make me shut this bad boy down again.
All right.
Well, I believe you had to go to private school.
There is zero statistical
You got to go to
significance.
private school.
That's
But then didn't you get to go to a private school?
Here's what's
And look at
interesting
how-
to the
you're an
Worcester
example
right
right
now, because
Okay, I've been seeing this getting heated ever since Trump won. Alyssa's been having a little bit more backbone against these people because she is speaking common sense. Like, okay, forget about that Trump is in office, okay? Look at the policies. Just forget about him. Look at the policies that he's putting forth. Look into them. They're pretty great. She's the one over here with some actual sense and putting it forth out there, and the rest of them are like,
You can't sit with us!
That's how they're acting. Sonny is like, you can't tell me nothing.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
This panel doesn't agree with school choice, but I strongly do, and elections have consequences. I'm going to say it now, and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. I don't think Donald Trump is just going to abolish the Department of Education. I think he's going to move to invest more in voucher systems, in education savings plans. And I personally, one of the things I agree on is I think school choice is important. I think that the money should follow the student. We also need to pay teachers more. We also need to have a GI Bill for teachers, but I don't think your wealth, your zip code should determine your outcome. We talk on the show all the time about education's the great equalizer. If you have a 4-year degree, you live 9 years longer in this country. That starts at pre-K. That starts in
but everybody
school.
doesn't go to college.
No,
Everybody's
and I agree.
not.
I don't think they need to, but I don't think we should make kids be victims of schools that are falling behind. And if she moves that direction, I'm willing to see if that works.
I know people that's driven an hour to take their kids to their private school that they chose. They get to choose a different location than the district that they're in for private schools or public schools and say, no, this education is not good enough for my child. I'm going to take them way over here to this private school because I think they'll get a better education here. The only difference is you have wealth to pay that out of pocket versus someone that might not have that wealth, like how you keep saying distribution of wealth and all this, that might not have that, now has a better chance to choose a different one maybe in their district or around their district, different ones, to where they can choose a better opportunity for the child, still locally, not as grandiose as the private school, but at least they'll have a little bit better option. And the only downside is they would have to have their own transportation to get to the school. So that's just a little price to pay that I'm pretty sure people could move stuff around to do that, have a little bit of extra gas money to get their child to the better school.
Where do you get the money from vouchers? You pull those money from those poor schools, those poor schools. Let me just finish this. So wealthy families are overwhelmingly the recipients of school voucher tax credits. I'm not making this up. This has been studied. In 2020, a 2020 study found that only about half of states with voucher programs require teachers to have a bachelor's degree, require teachers to have training, require teachers to have licensing, require participating private schools.
If I may get in, just to make it a conversation.
But because I have children and because I looked at
I went to public school. I believe you had to go to private school.
There is zero statistical significance.
You got to go to private school.
Because nobody can figure out what's being said here right now. No, there is no last thing right now. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back.
Yes.
Because you can't. What's happening is no one can hear anything anyone is saying. So everybody has
on it, so we can talk.
Well,
that goes for you too.
That's
her word, and she's been talking
for 3 minutes.
You took the first 3.
They need to move Sonny and Alyssa away from each other because they're too close to each other. I really feel like within these next couple days, someone is going to get physical on this show. It's only going to get worse. You can see the hate in Sonny's eyes. She cannot stand her. She's not even looking at her. She won't even look in her direction.
I'm not going to say I hate that he won. I don't feel that way, but I do want to be very clear-eyed about the policies. And so the last point that I was going to make is there is zero statistical significance that voucher programs improve overall student success. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Research has shown that students who use voucher programs to leave a public school and then attend a private school do worse academically,
but
especially in math and English.
Who is going to head the Department of Education, gave $21 million to Trump. And that's why she's in that position.
If I could just respond to that.
Won 5 Emmys, and that's why he's in that position.
I personally worked on the DC Opportunity Scholarship Program when I was working in Congress. In that program alone, which is a charter school system, it experienced a 21% increase in graduation rates. There are conflicting statistics, but according to Morning Consult, the majority of Americans support health savings account, vouchers, and the taxpayer money following the students. It is my belief as somebody who grew up in the public school system, believes in it, and was grateful to be in a really good school district. If you're in a school that's falling behind and your parent wants to give you the opportunity to get a leg up.
Remember when Sonny was like, oh, people that are not educated did not vote for Donald Trump.
Not only clear by race, but it's also clear by education. And so the notion somehow that is not true, this is by education. Those who attended college voted for her at a higher degree than those that didn't. And I've said that.
And the people that did vote for her that did have college degrees, which we don't know which ones or went to college, just show you maybe that college really isn't that helpful if you forget all your common sense. How are you going to get so educated? You educate yourself right out of common sense.
But I also think that there are schools that are falling behind. It doesn't mean they don't deserve education, but I don't think students should be victims of a falling behind school. Their life is at stake in it, their future, their earning potential.
See, you went to a good school. I wasn't in a good school district. That's the inequity.
But where did you go to school?
In the South, I had to start school in the South Bronx projects. That's
But then didn't you get to go to a private school?
Here's what's
And look at
interesting
how-
to the
you're an
Worcester
example of
right
that.
now, because don't make me shut this bad boy down again.
All right. Your education should not be tied to where you live. Should not be.
Here we go. She's about to stick her foot in her mouth and totally just negate everything that she said literally 2 days ago.
Tied
school
to
choice,
your
though.
no,
Yeah.
it's actually
No,
not,
it
because
is.
what happens
That
with
is the
school-
argument for busing.
what happens with it's an argument for busing, not school choice, because what happens is when you live in an impoverished neighborhood like I lived in, you do not get the funding. The funding under a voucher program is taken away from your school and given to another
But
school.
on the flip,
Okay, Sonny. You get the voucher no matter what. A voucher is just a fancy term for funding for each individual kid. If you move your child to a different school, say, like my sister, she had to be moved from a school because she was being harassed by a boy. And nobody would do anything in the school about it until she punched him in the face. They just take the funding and move it to a different school. That's all you do. She says that she wants these things for people and is criticizing the administration for this, but yet she doesn't want to allow the opportunity for people to get the leg up that she's so claiming that they should have. So if you're speaking out of one side of your mouth and then you're like, no, I don't want to do anything to help these people, it's a bad school that you're at and move to a better school. No, we can't have that because then that loses out funding for the school that's bad. Screw the one that's bad. Maybe the one that's bad will get so low funding that it'll shut it down. They'll have to consolidate everybody to the better schools, or it will make whoever higher up, the Board of Education, look at that school better and be like, hey, maybe we should somehow implement whatever the problem is at the school. Better teachers, better leaders, better, I don't know, zero tolerance for bullcrap at the schools, allowance. Then that'll bring people back, or it will, increase their funding, whatever. That's what she's saying. Just let the crappy schools still be crappy, because if you take away funding and allow students that want to have a better education, a different, whatever's going on at that school that's hindering them, keep them in that crappy school, keep them in that sinkhole, keep them hindered to where they don't have a better opportunity to get into college, to pursue whatever they want to do, if, in the medical field, whatever, to give them a better basis, get a better score on their ACT or SAT, go into a different school. So she makes no sense the way she's talking. Each funding is for each student. So your funding goes with you. It's not you leave and then all of a sudden they just get less money anyways. If you're not there, you're not giving the school the funding. So what is she talking about?
But listen, you're taxing me. You're paying tax. You're paying tax. Where's our money going?
Well,
why isn't it going to schools and education?
Yeah, Whoopi, where do you think our tax money's going? Maybe Ukraine? Or, all these people that they brought over that they can't do anything with? They can't arrest them. They can't give them jobs. They can't do anything but monitor them if they're criminals. Where is our tax dollars going to that's supposed to be for our children? That's where your tax dollars are going to. And you know what? You're in support of all of that. All of this wasteful spending. Yes, that could be here for our children to have a better education. So how Sonny says, so they can vote more smart.